Hello there, and welcome to another episode here on the Green Living Chats podcast. My name is David, your host, and we are happy to be bringing you a conversation right from my home country where we spoke to ShaQ Express about if the delivery industry can be sustainable. ShaQ Express is a tech-driven courier and e-commerce company that seeks to bridge the gap between vendors and customers by providing a seamless platform that allows vendors to sell and give convenience to customers to shop from a great variety of shops. They leveraged technological advancement and the growth rate of smartphone penetration in the country, providing swift, secure, and reliable services on their mobile app, the ShaQ Express app. So, Anthony Owusu-Ansah, who is the CEO and founder of this company, joined us on the podcast to have a discussion about how can the courier and delivery industry be sustainable. Again, we had Michael Rather, who is the founder of Industry 5.0, the first industrial evolution ever led by humans, based on industrial upcycling and the methodology of systematic waste prevention. Michael also joined us in this conversation to add his voice with his rich experience in logistics and industrial upcycling. So our conversation revolved around how logistics and delivery looks in Ghana, as well as the loopholes we can find all around the world in this industry. We highlighted the problem of how society is losing its sense of planning ahead and reliance on technology, and how can we turn this around to make the industry more efficient. So we talked about ShaQ Express's business model and what they're doing to include sustainability into their business model. And on this episode, I had another surprise for you. We had a guest co-host.
Hi guys, my name is Hagan Brown, the founder of Ahaban Environmental, which is a group of engineers and experts who find solutions to our environmental and socio-economic problems. Today, I joined David on the podcast to talk about ShaQ Express in Ghana. In a sustainable world where women empowerment, health and safety, among others, are important as climate change, we dive into how sustainable the logistics industry in Ghana is and how ShaQ Express services is fueling a sustainable development.
Thanks, Emmanuel, for joining us on this episode. But before we dive into it, I want to let you know that this is part one of a two-part series with ShaQ Express. So stick around with us next week for the second part of this conversation. I really can't wait for us to dive into this episode. So grab a coffee. Oh no, maybe Emmanuel, let's welcome our listeners into this episode.
So yeah, grab your coffee and let us dive in.
Here we go. You are listening to the Green Living Chat podcast, a podcast where we discuss emerging environmental issues around the world and to find sustainable solutions. I'm your host, David Owusu-Ansah. We use this platform to support environmental-related initiatives, researches, and projects. This podcast is brought to you by EcoWamet Solutions in Ghana with a mission to going back to green. So join us on this train with new episodes this and every Sunday. Here we go. Hello, Anthony. Thank you so much for joining me on the Green Living Chats today. And today we also have Michael Rather on the show. So yeah, it's good to have two wonderful gentlemen. Thank you guys so much. You're welcome to the podcast today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, today's going to be fun. When I got to know about this company, ShaQ Express, thank you so much, Hagan, for bringing this on board because I found it to be very interesting. I've seen a lot of these companies all around over the world outside. So it's good to finally know that such a thing is happening within our own country. So, well, I'm super glad to have this conversation with you. But Anthony, before we get into everything, I would really love it so that you can introduce yourself to our audience. Let us know who you are, how your childhood was. And you cannot do this without mentioning that you are from Infanspem School. We have to do that. That's the secret, guys. Today, I'm super excited more because we have an Infanspem all student on board, and all the guys should be happy about it. Michael, in case you are lost about this, Infanspem is the best school in the world. Is the best school in the world. And Ghanaians
really?
Hagan, if you have a problem with it, I cannot solve it.
Okay.
I would say Prepper College is the best. But
please don't start a war. Don't start a war.
No, it's actually okay for him to say that, because as fathers, we always train and then pray that our children become better than us. And since we birthed Prepper College, it's okay for them to become better. It means that you're doing our job well. So,
yes, exactly.
We are in the right path. Anyway. Thank you, guys. Thank you, David and Brown. Nice to meet you, Michael. Thank you for the opportunity to also be on this platform. I think going green is the way forward and is the future. My name is Anthony Owusu-Ansah, and I'm the founder and the CEO of ShaQ Express. ShaQ Express is a tech-driven courier company, and we seek to connect the gap between retailers or customers or consumers and vendors or restaurants or whoever is selling something. So you notice that there's always a gap where somebody wants something from a vendor or a shop or a restaurant, and they struggle to find the right logistics to connect to them. So for businesses, we are like the last mile. And for customers, we create the convenience for them to be able to conveniently get what they need from wherever in Accra for now. But now we are beyond Accra, Ghana, and international through our partners. ShaQ Express was birthed last year, May. We went live 9th May. By God's grace, we started with 4 motorbikes, but now we can boast of 47 with 1 car.
Wow.
And yes, it's not been an easy space. But before I get there, let me just speak briefly about Infanspem and how Infanspem is an amazing school.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking.
How Infanspem is an amazing school. I am proud to be a butcher boy, a mobile.
Okay.
I'm proud that I went to Infanspem because it's actually sort of gave some level of exposure and leverage. Even in business, you'll be amazed how I've been able to connect with business partners through this fraternity. Mm-hmm. And if you're a Ghanaian listening to this and you want your child to have this natural network, the place to go is Infanspem. It comes this natural network. It's something that you cannot argue without. So, and I went to K University, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I had my degree in physics. Then after that, I also did my master. Yes, geological physics to be specific.
Wow.
Oh, wow. But don't ask me any question about physics, please. We are not here for.
Don't disgrace your teacher.
Like Michael said, I mean, do you really need a degree to do all these things? But then again, it's a different conversation.
Yeah.
So I also had an executive MBA business administration, but I focused on international business. Then I attempted an MSc in actuarial science. I did the first semester, and then time did not allow me to complete the course, so it's still pending. Yes. My entire career has been about business development, sales and marketing, relationship management. I'm the guy who will pick your product or services and get you the people who need it and to run with it. I'm also able to help build businesses or product to be able to conceptualize, develop, implement, sell the entire supply chain process of business and product. Somewhere around last year, in fact, ShaQ Express was an idea in 2016. My company then relocated me to a different region. I was new there, so about 2 months in settlement, I was struggling to order for food to my comfort. I have to move a car or move to go get a food. So I asked friends, I didn't know courier services here I can just use, and said no. The mode and the means was not something I wanted to subscribe to. So I said to myself, okay, and if you've been to Takwa before, it's a very small town. The town is just around a circle. You don't have to travel far. So
Yeah.
the courier concept came to mind, but it was more of a bicycle and a motorbike approach more than a car or a minivan. Then so I started doing the paperwork, trying to understand the terrain, trying to know the people, know the businesses, and how to go about it. Fortunately for me, I was relocated back to the capital city for a bigger role. And when I came, I got busy. So I could not continue with the ShaQ Express idea. And this was 2016. Just until last year, just around the COVID time, a conversation came up. So I was trying to help promote a friend's business, which is courier. And I got so many businesses for the person that the demand was very high for him. And they were having issues trying to get him. So then I had complaints and I said to myself, you know what? This is something I said I wanted to do some years back. How about I create that services that will be able to meet this demand? And I was in for a shock. The market is so big in Accra that you will need a very large fleet.
Wow.
And a lot of other variables and factors to be able to meet the demand. More importantly to it was the kind of service I wanted to give out to Ghanaians and businesses. The kind of service that we wanted to, the convenience and the excitement that comes with it. I had the document already. So I reopened the case and then started making a call, so I spoke to a friend, Jessica Nkam, who was already in the space for about 2 years, but was operating as a small business. So he actually broke it down step by step, every detail of the business, what I need to know, the bike recommendation, the processes, how to start everything. He walked me through it. So he actually gave me an easy start. So then I went about registration, and on the 9th of May, by God's grace, we're up and live. Well, I was working at another company, so it was more of a side business until somewhere in June, July, the conversation of, you know what, we've been doing this for about 3 months. These are the challenges that we are facing. These are the things that the complaints from customers. For us to be able to achieve what we need to achieve, we'll have to scale up the business. We have to add technology to it. And the business is such that you cannot run it to the extent that you want as a side gig. You have to commit to it. Because I'll be in meetings at work and I'll be getting phone calls and I'll be getting friends calling me, customers calling me, complaining about this or that. Somewhere around June, I had a conversation with my wife about resigning from my work, quitting my main job, and to focus on this. And you know, this conversation, it won't go down well like that. It's not a conversation it's not a conversation that you just say it casually and it just happens. It took her a lot. It took her a lot. It took me PPT, Excel, budgeting, forecasting, all the financial analysis you can think of. I had not gotten so deep in financial planning analysis until my wife started asking questions about how you intend to do this. We did all that, and then by God's grace, she agreed that, okay, you know what, let's give this a shot and let's give it all our best. In July, I actually submitted my resignation, and 1st of August, I started ShaQ Express full-time.
That's
last
very
year.
interesting. Yeah.
I've been a year full-time in this business. It's been full of all sort of things, surprises, gains, losses, progress, setbacks. It's been an amazing journey and a very, very insightful one. Yeah, it's been a learning curve for me and for my career.
Yeah, we will be getting a little bit details into your company and what your company is doing. I actually wanted to ask a couple of follow-up questions to that, but actually I think whilst I had a question, you just kept going and you were answering my questions already in my mind. Every time we get someone who is in the industry, an industry trying to put things out and trying to make it, or who has even already made it, I always want my audience to understand what it is to go through that process. I checked the statistics and we have a lot of people listening between the ages of 18 and 28, right? So which means that these are the people who are already trying to get into their careers, get into the universities to understand, how can they choose their life careers, right? And I would like to hear Michael's thoughts on this as well. But firstly, Anthony, would you like to tell us how was it for you transiting from maybe the university into what you were already doing? I don't know. How did you make your career choices? How did you even move from fixes to come and do a business related course as a master, sometimes people listen and they think that is very easy. Someone might be stuck at that particular point, right? So can you educate us a little bit, just in few words?
David, this cannot be in few words. but, but let me state it. Let me state this fact that I didn't think, and I never thought that at this time, at this stage, ShaQ Express would be alive, or there'll be anything called ShaQ Express. So from the university to this moment, let me admit that there was a plan, but there was no plan. In the university, okay, what I only had in mind was to become a lecturer.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It was being a dream to lecture. And this dream came after I realized that I cannot be a medical doctor because I cannot work in the hospital. It also came after I noticed that I really don't want to be a scientist. Then it came after the fact that, okay, you know what? I don't know if I have the business acumen to be able to manage businesses. Then it came after, you know what? You don't really have a talent or a skill or anything you want to do. So you know what? Just go with life. So
yeah,
uni,
that is actually being real. It's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually just going with life. So after uni, I had the privilege to work in a multinational company. And that is where everything changed for me. But before even national service, when I was going to submit my documents for national service, I opted to work before to do some internship because throughout my university period, I did not do internship. Mm-hmm. And I think that was one of my mistakes that I did. And if I'm to go back in time, one of the things I would do is to intern a lot. Because then when I started my national service, there were these three guys who had interned with the company for 3 years. And they had so much knowledge, so much skill. The gap between them and myself was very huge. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, I don't have pride when it comes to some of these things. I went down, I learned from them, and I needed to learn what I need to learn. So one of the most striking attributes that anybody who wants to aspire to be anything is to learn. And after my national service, by God's grace, I got jobs, offers, and all that. One of the striking things that occurred to me and that I took from where I did my national service was the fact that you always have to be curious to learn.
Okay.
So I walk with a learning cap, with a learning dress, a learning shirt, that I'm always looking for something to learn. And in learning, you'll be able to define your path and where you should go and what you should do.
I love that. Okay, Michael, would you like to share your thoughts on this thing? A short advice you would like to generally give to people?
It's quite interesting story comparing to mine because, as mentioned before, I do not have any academic education. I just finished after the secondary school. I started as a steel factory worker, but already in the first job, I have learned that I really suffer when my brain does not need to work. When you do repeated work, generally, let's call it hard work, but not the brain work. And I spent over a year in a factory, in a steel factory. The main what I take with me was, I do not want to do similar anytime again, not because of the hard physical work, but because I really feel it was a physical feeling that my brain is shrinking. I said to me at the time when I was 19 and I am 50 this year, I will do everything to be the best. But there was one thing on the way that I selected almost every time, challenges which I have no idea about. I was one of the first men au pair in UK. There was men usually do not care about kids of other people. I did. And it was fun. You know, my mother was a kindergarten teacher, so I have it in my veins. But then I came back, and quite interesting, I searched for a job in the country, and I was thinking, okay, being 1 year in UK, speaking quite well English, it will be easy. The people did not ask me about whether I can speak. They asked me, do you have a title? Do you have a certificate? I said, no. Why? Do you want to speak with me English? I don't know how to speak English. I just ask you for your certificate. And this was the answer by 99% of the companies. Nobody was interested whether I can do or not. Just the paper was important. And then at that moment, I give a call to one German company called Schenker, not knowing what is logistics at all. I never touched logistics. I even did not know what the word means. But I find an ad in a newspaper, because at the time there was no internet, of course, and find out in a newspaper ad. So I go to the city-only phone. So again, no mobile phones. And I give them a call, and some German guys start to speak with me. I do understand German. I learned only for 2 years, but my brain worked quite well with languages. So I did understand, but I was not able to answer him in German. So it was quite a crazy call, and he got me. And I started there, and everything changed. So for me, what I took from Anthony, generally, you don't need to make plans what you will do. If you have the general one, like, I would like to be the best, no matter what I will do, you can be the best. It will be hard. You have to learn every single day, but this is exactly what I need. I need this brain works hard. And you know, David, I have a grandfather which is 98 years old. His aim is read 1 book per day.
Wow.
Yes.
Can you imagine that you read 1 book per
he's
day? He did it. He does it for many years and make 10 riddles. Trust me, it's wonderful to talk and see 100 years old experience and compare it with nowadays. And this is, I built a lot of things for Industry 5.0 on these discussions, because your forefathers knows how to run a business, how to invent America or whatever. They have no GPS, no internet, nothing, and still they make international trade. They survive, they built the cities in which we are living without all this stuff. So there is a lot of knowledge, but the issue is that we generally give it back. It's old, I don't care, so we build it new. It's a wrong approach. But I like what Anthony says. Really be the one. Don't try to be somebody else. Because you will never, even if you take his heart or her heart, put it in your breast, you will die. It does not work this way. But you can have a role model. It's fine, but not copying it. And as I see by Anthony's case, your new business is not copied business. You did it. You did it with intention. You carry it in your mind for generally 4 years before it came the right moment and you says yes. And to be honest, I am really jealous on your relationship with your wife. My wife, when she learned that I will quit a senior role in a second largest Japanese corporation and I start from zero, and really from zero, because there was nothing what I do, nothing in the world, she generally say goodbye to me.
What?
And since then, for the 8 years, we do not speak. We live together, but we do not speak together. She does not support me anymore because I stopped to be a manager, and she married a manager. But right now I have a human on my business card. So it's a very unhealthy, I will not call it a relationship, but we are living together. I have an 18 years old daughter. But, it's really value your relationship.
Yeah.
Because if your wife help you to get all this thinking about the financial points and so on, you have a big helper, and your kids will do the same, and you will be the role model. And this is what you have to achieve.
Wow.
Good stuff.
Michael, that's a very intense story.
Thank you. It's going to take me time to get over what Michael just said.
Like cherishing the everyday things that you have, but you're like, it's never. Michael, I'm going to have a whole episode with you, not to talk about environment, sustainability. We'll talk about life.
Yeah.
I will be happy to, because, it is our life. I think right now, Anthony, and all of you, you have found the meaning of your life. You do the meaningful job. It's not about the money. The meaningfulness, it's very different thing. And to be honest, it's quite interesting. A few years ago, I made presentation they invited me for a global meetup of psychology students. Until now, I don't know whether they call me as a patient. I am not sure. I don't care. There was 300 people in the room, and I presented Industry 5.0 generally. I prepare quite strongly for every of my speech. I spent months to prepare because of my speaking disorder. I have found, and I will share it with you, 1 hour, today we will call it podcast, 1 hour from 1959, Carl Gustav Jung, psychologist, black and white. Listen to that. This guy is unbelievable. And he ends up this 1 hour. He ends up with following sentence: the man cannot live meaningless life.
Yeah.
And at that moment when I heard it, I said, yes, I did what I find meaningful. And I started just from zero, not taking care that it's a zero. Every hero starts from zero.
Impressive stories here and there. It's very good to hear what you guys have been through, how you guys started, how you guys brought everything up, the inception, the energy, the learning part, and everything. When Anthony was talking, Anthony said something. He said the industry in Ghana, when it comes to the logistics, is quite huge. And he also made mention of, Anthony, can you please tell us some of the technologies that is being used in this industry and some of the loopholes in the industry? We would like to share with our listeners for them to know what's going on in the industry in Ghana.
Sure. Thank you, Brown. I'm still trying to get over Michael's last statement, but forgive me. So yes, technology is key. It's very important in every aspect, but logistics itself is huge. I don't know any part of this world, anything that we do from agriculture to whatever, that you don't need logistics, and logistics is broad. I am just only do a fraction of this logistics, and I'm sure Michael can speak to it. And it's a business that is lifetime, is generational, it's sustainable. It's not a one-time thing. If you connect sustainability to logistics, you'll find meaning to it, a lot of meaning, and how it's a space that we need to really look at, because it's one of the things that is good for posterity and then for generations and future generations. So, but for my space, which is the e-commerce, gig commerce, delivery courier space, I am just using motorbikes and one car. And in that space, it's predominantly the e-commerce apps and the Q-commerce app. So if you want food, there's an app for you to get the food. If you want to buy a dress, there's an app for you to buy a dress. The technology is app-based, and maybe in terms of, forgive me, but I might not be able to speak to technology aspect of it. In my space, if it was in America, let's say Amazon, then I can speak about robotics and how they use robots and the rest technology to do.
Soon you will get there.
Amen. Now over here, it's just generally the motorbikes and the cars and the mobile app that we use. So we create a platform. So we just created a platform that the vendors can use to connect to the logistics to make their work easier, as well as create a convenience for customers as well.
You made mention of the mobile apps. With a country like Ghana, sometimes I would say people, when they have to use mobile apps to do things, I mean, Ghanaians actually like to go the traditional way, call you, pick up, come for it and stuff. How do people integrate with this mobile apps and this new technology in this space? I mean, your company is quite new, because you started last year.
Yes.
So
yes.
How do people integrate these mobile applications with your services and everything?
Okay. We still have a larger part of the industry still relying on the phone-in businesses. They still want to call, they still want to have the human,
traditional.
Touch. So traditional way of going to want to call and speak to somebody and get it done. We have a growing space where they are more tech savvy, and they also buy into the convenience, and they don't want the stress of picking a phone to call. They are busy. They would rather go on the mobile app or on a website to request for it. We are serving both markets. We are not ignoring the other, but we think that the future is technologies, the mobile app, where a time will come, people will not really have the time to pick a phone to call, but they'll rather go on the app or on the system to place their request. So what we've done, that we've created APIs that for businesses who also have mobile apps, they can plug our API into their system and automatically they will get the deliveries that they want. We also developed the mobile app for the ShaQ Express app for customers to also go on it and directly request for delivery. So for us, we are serving both the digital market and the traditional market as well.
Hi there, just a quick one. So if you're enjoying this conversation, why don't you just share this episode with a friend of a friend? And let's get more people to listen to this episode. The urgency of climate change and humans reducing our impact and footprint on the environment is a necessity. And these are the conversations we need to promote. You can also help us by giving us a star rating or sharing your comments on whichever platform you are listening to this episode. Visit our website and our social media platforms in the show notes and get interactive with us, or send us an email at glcpodcast@ecowametsolutions.com. So thank you in advance. Let's get back into this conversation. So I actually wanted to get Michael's thoughts also on how the industry looks, let's say, outside Ghana. I'm sure you have a very fair idea of what's happening around the world.
In fact, Anthony mentioned that there are many countries and many markets and many companies really concentrating on the electronics. They have more robots, they have better warehouses, they have whatever. But in a global scale, there will be no logistic 4.0 or 5.0. It's all the time logistics.
Yes. Yeah.
It remains logistics. You have to move something from A to B. I don't think Amazon is doing the right thing generally, because if you look at a global picture, yesterday, I received a request from Amazon in Czech Republic, which has 100,000 meters square warehouse just for the repacking the stuff. And they are looking for supplier of wooden pallets, 30,000 pieces per month.
Wow.
Single use.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Horrible things, but the development is the same. What is dropped, and maybe what you don't heard about, few years ago, there was a big discussion that drones, the flying drones, will take over part of the delivery. Yeah. Amazon dropped it recently, DHL dropped it recently, the project, and UPS dropped it. So the flying drones for deliveries are generally being dropped by the third biggest supporters. Recently, it's new. What is still in a game are the drones which are riding on the pavements. So generally small cars, or how we call it, small transporters. You fill it, it goes. In China, you maybe saw it in Shenzhen, I think is a test.
Yes, I saw it.
Where is a small
red one.
shop.
Yeah, the red one, I saw it.
Exactly. Yes. And in Dubai, what they did, they used Tesla cars, driverless, to deliver shipments. So you receive a shipment with a Tesla car came in front of your apartment. You just unlock it with your phone and you pick up what is inside. So in Czech Republic, we have tested recently. It started last week or something like that. Škoda Auto, so one of the car makers, is testing to deliver packages in a cab of a car, of a parked car, because they can unlock it remotely.
Okay.
So you don't have to be at home. They will deliver to the cab of your car, close it. It's quite interesting. What did Amazon several years ago? Interesting idea as well. He thinks, okay, I have a lot of workers in here and they go after the work in a city. Why shouldn't they take some of the packages in the city to deliver them in the location? And he pay for that. That's a great idea. We have a lot of commuting people from one side to the others, but we don't use it. And just now I came to one of the ideas which when I get through Anthony's website, I said, okay, how many of your couriers take something back? Because why not? You can combine it. I don't say they will take food back, but they can need to deliver some package or whatever in the other direction. And then you will establish a milk run, which again cut your cost on half, almost on half. You will have a double, and so on and so on. So the connectivity, and this is exactly the logistics. Why I say that I don't think that Amazon is going good, it's not about the sustainability itself, but there is one critical point which you as a logistician have to consider. Our fathers, our grandfathers, when they need some food or something, they plan it. They know 1 week ahead, they have to pick it up. With the speed up of technology, we are losing ability to plan. In my country, one of the biggest e-trader distributor, generally concentrating on food, is really large. He delivered within 6 hours. And in Prague, in a capital, he delivered within 90 minutes, which means you lose your ability to plan. You don't have a bread, in 90 minutes you will have it. Try to write with a map instead of GPS. If you have been used to map before, you've been able to drive all around the globe just with a map. Then came GPS. You switch to GPS easily. From 1 minute to the other, you switch. Try to switch back. That's crazy stuff. Really crazy stuff. Because even we lose our orientation sense somehow. But it's proof by science on mice that they really lose it. If you give them something as a tool, they lose it. So that's one of the risks which I would like to point out. And we can solve it, because if we do not solve it, the next time the food will be not ordered by a man, no matter whether in app or on the phone. It will be ordered by the fridge without even. In Japan, it works. They tested by Honda and by Panasonic. They have scanners of the food, and if something is close to the end date of the life, I don't know how it's called in English generally. Yeah, expire date, exactly. The fridge orders.
Wow.
It's not asking you, it's ordering.
That's crazy.
In my country, there are refill centers for the stores. They use containers, they are smart containers, and these containers order next order because they are waiting automatically.
Wow.
It's a system which was introduced 2 years ago. You know, I am educating innovation, so I get in touch with a lot of this stuff, and some of them really happen. But what makes me worried really is our intentional loss of the ability to plan. That's a very risky issue, which I would like to prevent, and which people like Anthony can generally help, because he does not have only use the app to order the food or package. You can use it to generally educate the people. How? If you order today in 90 minutes, it will cost you triple the price. But if you order it for next day, you will have the price. If you order it 1 week ahead, of course, you cannot do it with all, but this is the way how to educate them. And the people will get back. And it's important to learn to plan. And that's, I think, it's one of the things which can be very interesting for you, because you will be the only one on the market. You don't need to beat the others by the price. You need to offer something different.
That's good.
That's a really good idea. I think Michael has already started talking about some of the loopholes that he sees in the industry. Anthony, is there any other loopholes that you see in the industry in Ghana around you?
Yeah, there might be market-specific loopholes, but what Michael touched on is it's a valid point. I've gotten actually 2 ideas from his submission. I've noted one down, which is the scheduled deliveries, where we can charge 1/5 of the actual price if you order a week or 2 days or 3 days. I mean, for the plan. It will also give us the time to be able to plan our route the bikes, and then all that. And the second idea was the smart container. I think it's something that will really.
It's a crazy thing, really.
Yeah, but market specific in Ghana. Yes, there are some loopholes. And it's because of the nature of our market. As we speak now, we have a regulatory body that supervises this industry. You're supposed to acquire certificates to operate, but we have the small, very small businesses. We have the medium businesses, and we have the big shots in the industry. The capital to acquire the license itself is very expensive for a small business. So you need a lot of money to get license to operate. Now, some people are just out of school. They love logistics. They want to go into that space. They don't have the jobs to do. They don't have companies to join to learn from. So they intend to start. They want to bootstrap from the very beginning. So they try and get some money from family or for someone to start something on their own. And imagine somebody has one motorbike and wants to start a logistic business, and the person is supposed to acquire a license for that amount of money. It's the license itself can buy another motorbike.
Yeah.
Can buy another motorbike. So that is more of a regulatory gap that I think the government should look into and try and see how they can, not to necessarily lower the market, the barrier, lower it for everybody to come into that space. The other bit is pricing. The disparities in pricing is too much. For a same person who wants to start this new business and has bought one motorbike, this person, because he wants more clients, will reduce the price outrageously. Like will charge like 1/10 or 1/20th of the actual price just so they can have customers. Then we'll take the others and will not be able to deliver, and not only give a bad name for the industry or the type of delivery services, but will also create a price anomaly in the industry. Now, this client who has enjoyed a cheaper rate, when that service is unavailable and the client comes to you, he or she is expecting the same amount of the same pricing, thinking that the modus operandi is the same, the mode of operation and run the business are the same. The cost structure for a one bike owner will not be the same cost structure for somebody who owns more than one bike. But then again, the prices are different. But customers do not understand that. They think that, when I come to you, I should have the same price as the person I went to who has one bike, does not have an office, is running from the home, has not put certain things in place to make sure that in case of damage package, there's a refund policy, nothing of that sort. And yet you're supposed to pay the same price for it. The other bit of it has to do with what Michael touched on. We are in the era of quick service. That's what they call it, kill commerce. We want everything fast. Now, these customers think the motorbikes actually fly. They think that motorbikes are drone. So when they ask for a delivery, they expect it in the next 5 minutes. And that's what Michael was talking about, the lack of planning, our inability to plan. So I want to take this document to the bank by 2:30. The customer will request for the delivery at 2:30. How do you want to get there at 2:30? But you should rather call us maybe in the morning at 8 a.m. and say, you know what, I want this document delivered to this bank by 2:30. Can you please get it done? So we have from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. to plan, pick, and deliver. But no, the customer has lost what Michael would say, our forefathers' way of survival. It's telling me to keep quiet.
I have added many years ago one thing. I teach my clients in logistics, they don't pay for the service. They pay for the time and for the time they lost.
Yeah.
So if they order too late, they will pay much more. And some companies, I don't know whether you have here, for sure you know TNT, but do you know that TNT has a special service department? It's a department which you can order an elephant to have it the next day. And they will charter the plane and they will deliver. But you have to pay a lot of money to have the elephant. But they built entire department with, 500 people, which care only about this special service. And they put it really in the price. They pay for time. And this is exactly, if you really implement it, I think many companies will learn how to plan. And it's about the logistics. As I didn't touch before, but generally dealing with the waste and wasting, every day in the world is wasted 23 million tons of every single day. Imagine that, 23 million tons. And when I spoke about it with the president of the Czech Logistic Academy, for whom I do educate and hold workshops and so on, he says, Mr. Rada, we have enough, everything, but on a wrong place. And that's exactly the point. And this is logistics. So I have a question to Anthony, because you are for almost, let's say, 1 year in a business. What is the share in the shipments between food and non-food?
Food is about 62%.
62% is food,
yes,
which means quick deliveries.
Yes, for my business, 62% is food.
Okay, that's mean that not too many companies order the food, but individuals.
So I have too many individuals using our services.
My suggestion to you, why not the companies? Why not an office company should not offer the food using your service? Of course, I do understand that you will not carry on a motorcycle 100 food, but you spoke about the car. Generally, what is missing is a combination. It's a combination. This is what I spoke about. Food and something. And that's, I think, that will be your strength.
Yes.
Because you are very flexible. You are not limited by the limits of the others.
No. For us, we are very flexible.
That must be the key, not the price itself. You will offer more. I never be the price of a client. If he asks me for price, I generally leave the meeting. Because if he asks for price, he just want to push me somewhere. No, I don't accept this anymore. For 10 years, I reject this. I can deliver a service, and the service will save him a lot of money, but he has to buy a solution. And this solution, you will be offering a solution. And you maybe will be the first in the world who will offer unique solution. Why not Ghana? Why it should be Amazon? No, Amazon is doing all the time the same because they are too big. They cannot change. They are the giant, which one step of giant, it's a long, but it takes years to change. You are the flexible one.
Yeah, actually, I mean, these are good stuff. You've already mentioned some of the loopholes that you find in the industry. Earlier, you've already given us a little gist of what ShaQ Express does, but I would like you to just mention specifically indirect answers to maybe some of the loopholes that are already in the industry. Let's talk a little bit on what ShaQ Express does, straightforward. Let us know, how do you operate? What is your business model? How do you supply goods to people? How do people reach you? How do you in general operate?
So we use two models. I initially said we use the offline model, the phone in, where a customer can call anytime and request for delivery today or tomorrow, and we will assign a rider to go pick the item up. Then we have the second model where the customer will not call the office, but the customer will go straight to the ShaQ Express app, and then we'll request a rider through the app. I mean, it's a simple model and a simple process. So in our office, we have two teams. Just like Michael mentioned, that is a special service. We have a team that is managing the app and making sure that every request that comes on the app is successfully done. And we have a team that is also standby, waiting for calls from customers. They'll pick it up, they'll pick the call and submit the details of your delivery request. Then they will route the nearest rider to your delivery request to pick it up and get it done.
Moving away from your business model, you have riders, you have people delivering all these packages and all these goods to people in different parts of the city. How do you ensure that your riders are actually carrying their duties in a safe mode? How do you ensure that everybody is safe? Do they have some specific training? Because I think to have a sustainable business means that your workers, everybody in the business, works in quite a suitable and a friendly environment. So how do you make sure that these riders are safe in carrying out their duties? Do they have any specific training attached to their daily routines?
Yes. So we have trainings at onboarding. We have bi-monthly special general trainings, and we have everyday training. So we understand that there's always a traditional way of doing things, and there's always the modern way, the new way of doing things, the digital way. So most of our riders are the traditional way of doing things. And unfortunate to say this, there's this stereotype about dispatch riders where they don't adhere to traffic regulations. So one of the things that by ShaQ Express, when you do that, you are immediately dismissed. It's part of your agreement that you sign, that you would not flaunt any of these traffic regulations. And our customers are so helpful that they send us pictures and videos of our riders on the road, in traffic, movement. So we always get it. And then we use some of these videos and pictures to reward or punish, for lack of better words. So now we mostly do rewarding because we believe that these are some of the things that will inadvertently change the behavioral patterns of some of these guys. Because if I say that you've done a good job by not jumping the traffic light, even though you're not supposed to, but because you are used to a certain way of doing it, and over here, we are restricting you from doing it, we appreciate the effort that you've put in not to do that. So we give gifts, we give bonuses, we give packages and all that to these guys. And we can proudly say that over the past 15 months, today, you will not, I can put my last penny on it, that you will not find a ShaQ Express rider jumping a traffic light. And it has been a continuous training. Now, a sustainable way to go is that approach. Besides the protective clothing and all that they need to wear, and then make sure that they ride, we also teach them defensive riding and then train them on what to do in certain instances. So we understand that the road is used by other vehicle users, and accident is not necessarily your fault. In some cases, it's from the third party and all. So defensive driving is one of the things that is important. So for the training, it's an ongoing process. It's an everyday thing. And we have to do that because that's the only way we can deliver a customer's package the same way we picked it up. That's the only way a rider will come to work, get his job done, and go back the same way he came. So it's very key for us to ensure that training is an everyday job at ShaQ Express.
Actually, I'm happy to hear that it's a continuous process at ShaQ Express training. It's very impressive. David, do you have something to add?
Yeah, it's just a follow-up to that. I actually wanted to ask this because, this industry, it's sort of male dominated, right? So I want to ask if, for the past few months that you've been working, have you considered, trying to get, the minorities mainly on board? Yeah, but hold on to that thought till we continue this conversation next week. See you on the next episode. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Green Living Chats podcast. This initiative is to educate and create awareness on things that really matter. We look forward to hearing your thoughts and comments as we get interactive on our social media platforms at Owusu-Ansah-Pt Solutions on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. If you would like to be part of these conversations, contact us via email at glcpodcast@owusu-Ansah-Pt or see our contact details in the show notes. Our conversation today was just part 1 of a 2-part series, so see you on the next episode for part 2 of today's conversation. And remember, live green.